The Backstreet Boys took the nation by storm in the 1990s, selling over 130 million albums worldwide. The five-member pop group included heartthrob Nick Carter, who was named one of People magazine's 50 most beautiful people in 2000, and in 2002 launched his solo career with a gold album. A decade later, his career has gone full circle with the Backstreet Boys World Tour and his new tell-all book, Facing the Music and Living to Talk About It.
So you just saw a video about singer, songwriter, entertainer, Backstreet Boy member, and now author Nick Carter. What you didn't hear is how loud our audience was while we played that video. And something tells me that we have a few Nick fans in the audience.
Yeah, just
And I have good news. Nick is actually on Polycom right now. Nick, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule to join us.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Now, love the fact you're back on tour, right?
Yeah, actually, currently I'm on tour between legs. We're on our way to Japan.
It's too bad because obviously we would have loved to have had you in studio here with us. Yeah. But you know, a tour's a tour.
Actually, maybe we could do a little something about that. Hold on one second. Good to see y'all.
Whoa! Yeah. By the way, I am so quitting medicine and going on tour with you.
You know, I go to medical school, I do all this stuff. I'm in the wrong profession.
No. Actually, you know, a lot of people don't know. I'm actually a really huge fan of, obviously, this show and just doctors in general. I appreciate and love them so much, you know.
Awesome.
Well,
so I thank you guys.
But
I'm a fan.
and we're a fan of yours, and you know, I'm gonna be honest, maybe not as big of a fan as the women who are crying in the audience. So, does that ever get old? Because
No,
I can't imagine it does.
No, it doesn't.
But what's great about Nick and his story and why he's on the show is you've been through a lot, and you're here to live and tell about a journey that hasn't always been roses, so to speak, and you wrote about it in this new book.
Yeah, no, honestly, the book has been so incredible to write. I like to say it's almost like writing in a diary in some ways. You know, you can just get those things out because there has been some rough times behind the scenes, you know.
So you became famous at what age?
16, 17, roughly around that time. But I met the guys when I was 12, actually. Yeah, that was a bad haircut. You know, they took a bowl and they just cut around it, you know.
For the record, Nick, you and I have one thing in common, and that is beautiful bowl cuts at the age of 12. And I like it. I like it a lot. So here you are. You're at one of those ages where you're very impressionable, and all this stuff is happening. One of the things you write about in your book is all the fun led you down a different path, and you started using and abusing alcohol and drugs.
You can get whatever you want in this industry, you know what I mean? And it's a vicious cycle, and if you don't have a good support system and good family and good friends, and you know, you can fall into that hole.
Now that you've gone through all that you've gone through, and you are back on the right path, per se, do you ever look at some of the younger people, like, let's say the Justin Biebers of the world, and have concern about kind of where they may end up or what they may go through?
You almost got to ask them, you know, if I had the opportunity to ask them, you know, or tell them, give them advice, I'd be like, look at the mirror. Do you love the person you are? If you can look and you can say, you know, I love inside and outside the person that I am, mostly here and here, you know, then you're okay. But if not, then, you know, look for help and try to make a change. You know, I think everyone needs to.
You know, and the name of your book, Facing the Music, you did face the music. And also, you faced the music for someone else. You dedicated this book to your sister.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, she was taken from us too soon. She died of, you know, a combination of prescription medications. And, you know, I realized later on down the road, like, I wanted to change and sort of lead by example, because I felt in a lot of ways I was doing things that might have affected them and, you know, influenced them in a lot of ways.
And Nick, along the way, you began to realize that your abuse of drugs and alcohol was leading to true health scares. When it was really bad, what things were you abusing?
Well, I mean, you name it. You know, there's ecstasy, there's, you know, cocaine, there's alcohol. And actually, I feel like alcohol is one of the biggest drugs out there, you know.
Absolutely.
And abused, you know, and I'm guilty of that as well.
And you had a true health scare. And come over here to this medical wall with me, Nick, because people don't think that heart disease can happen to youngsters. Well, when you're abusing drug and alcohol, you can develop something that you were told you were developing, which is?
It's a cardiomyopathy.
Had you ever heard of that term?
Until I went to the doctors, no.
And cardiomyopathy, for those of you who are uninitiated, it is literally a disease of the muscle of the heart. And it can happen through various mechanisms, but drugs and alcohol are certainly one of those. So if you are someone like Nick, who was using and abusing drugs and alcohol, and also, for the record, putting on a lot of excess weight, you can start to develop symptoms of cardiomyopathy, which are heart failure, really. Swelling, you notice in your arms and legs. I don't know if you had any swelling.
Had that, yes.
In addition, with the heart muscle getting weaker and weaker, you can get distended veins. You can develop shortness of breath and chest pain along with that. Any of those symptoms?
Well, that's exactly what happened to me. I was drinking heavily while I was on tour, and I started to actually get, you know, tightness in my chest and, you know, pain in my chest area, and that's actually what brought me to the doctors.
And so what happens with the true cardiomyopathy is normally your heart muscle beats regularly, does a great job, sends blood to all the precious organs of your body. But with cardiomyopathy, things go a little bit haywire. In dilated cardiomyopathy, those muscles literally dilate, and the ability to pump blood efficiently can become compromised. There's another form of cardiomyopathy called hypertrophic. This is more of a genetic cause where the muscle gets so big that, again, your heart can't pump blood the way it needs to. There's another one called restrictive cardiomyopathy. But the end result of cardiomyopathy, what was happening in Nick's body due to his drug and alcohol use, is his ability to pump blood throughout his body was compromised. And you quit just in time, did you not?
Actually, I did. And, you know, I think I was blessed to listen to the doctor and, you know, just change my lifestyle. And I mean, one of the things I did was, you know, cardio, actually strengthened my heart through exercise and cardio. And then diet was a huge thing, and then completely eliminating drugs and alcohol.
And this is what I love about Nick's story is he's going to stick around because he's going to share some of these other changes that he's made. These are all in his new book, Facing the Music. It was actually published by Bird Street Books, which is owned by our executive producer, Jay McGraw. And we'll be right back with more of the Backstreet Boys, Nick Carter.
Coming up.
Today we have Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys, who is sharing his past struggles with addiction, his weight, and his overall health. In his new book, he's coming clean about how he's turned his life around and inspiring others who may be in a similar situation. Now, Nick, I know you're busy signing autographs, so maybe we'll finish that during the break. Come back up here if you would, because we talked about how Nick has overcome his struggles with addiction. But it wasn't just drugs and alcohol. It was a food addiction.
Oh, yeah.
Because your weight ballooned. How many pounds did you gain?
That's about almost 65 pounds over.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really
So Nick has come up with some cool food swaps, but luckily we picked two audience members, Nadia and Amber. Will you guys come up here and help us out? And we're not gonna make you stand next to us.
I was gonna say we're not getting in the way.
You're such a good hugger. Oh my God, you're the biggest fan. No, I'm the biggest fan. Like, I even have an email address, BSB Respect. I was in my high school talent show. Me and my friends were the Backstreet Boys with a Z, and I was Nick. I was you, of course.
And I'm a really big fan because my mom, thank you so much. You and the Backstreet Boys have made my mom's and mine relationship so tight because, like, we harmonize in the car together to, like, all the music. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
True love.
Oh, my God.
Well, and what is really cool is, Nick, you have a big, passionate following, right? You two are just two of many.
To say the least.
And we love it when guys like Nick who have such a huge following, you know, you write and you talk about some of these simple swaps you've made because you used to make some really bad decisions, and now you've got some new ways of thinking about this stuff.
Absolutely. We have my favorite, actually, in the world, which is asparagus. I love asparagus.
Did you know asparagus is actually an aphrodisiac?
Really?
I'll be but be careful here, ladies. I'm about to... Nick's fiance is here, so...
That's right.
No, and so what I love to do is steam it. Steamed asparagus.
So you're steaming the veggies. You've got some nice, looks like salmon fillets
Yeah,
here.
salmon, actually. What I do is, if you want me to do that too,
Yeah, sure.
I like to bake it, which actually my fiance taught me how to bake. You know,
Okay.
so I actually,
Good.
So, and she's a good baker, and we put it in the oven about 350 degrees to 400.
Yep.
Let it stay there, depending on what you want, 30 minutes. Put some dill on it, maybe some dill weed.
And remember, those omega-3 fatty acids are really healthy for your heart. So
Yeah.
So this looks awesome.
Yeah, this
so
is
you
good.
fire this up,
Put
bake
a little
it.
lemon on it, bake it,
And you put a little oil?
Put a little, you put in like some parchment paper, wrap it up, put a little oil in there, and then olive oil is great.
You know, and
too.
after that, you're thinking, okay, I've got that big pint of ice cream in the fridge. Come on over here, ladies. But you've come up with some other great swaps for a nice frozen treat. And
Yes.
I love it.
That's okay. Don't worry.
I'm sorry.
Like I said.
Go on. Oh, you're pretty too.
He does look like he could be in the group, though, doesn't he? Before Kevin came back, I would have came to you. I'm just saying.
Yeah, pull this picture.
Nice. He wasn't lying.
We're going to pretend that didn't just happen. So, back to healthy food swaps.
Yes, right.
So what's really great is you can use a bowl for kale, or you can use it to cut your hair, as you can see from those pictures. But you got rid of the ice cream, and you've got these awesome frozen treats.
Absolutely. These are great alternatives. It's fruit. It's fructose. It's so much better for your body to digest. I love freezing my blueberries, actually. It's really great.
And we all... A guy...
It's good, too.
A guy never talks about freezing his berries.
No.
But hey, one of the things, again, what Nick is emphasizing here is there are certain things in life that are incompatible behaviors. But if you're going down this pattern of addiction, drug abuse, food addictions, when you change one thing, then you can change the next. So you stopped using drugs and alcohol, you started eating healthy foods, but you also met a woman, your fiance, Lauren, who's here. But you guys incorporate activity into your lives, too.
Yes.
Absolutely. Lauren's a fitness competitor, actually. She's that's one of her things, and we share in common, actually. And she can squat me, actually.
Stand up. Look how you're great. You have a great body. Stand up.
No, you cannot. You cannot, Nick, say that Lauren can squat you and then not. Can we see some of these moves? Show me this.
All right,
squat
come on, just
thing.
squat me real quick.
Is this safe?
This is how strong she is.
Really?
Yeah, come on.
No, this definitely.
I really love strong women, and that's why I fell in love with her.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
I appreciate strong women. I love them.
Hey, Lauren, come on up here. So I think the takeaway here is that you have changed your life around, and we're so glad that you're sharing it with us.
Yeah, thank you so much. And anyone can do it. And everybody has the ability to change their lives. And I wish the best for everyone. I know you can do it.
Thank you for sharing your music.
Thank you.
Well, guess what, audience? You're all going home with a copy of Nick's new book, Facing the Music and Living to Talk About It. That's published by our executive producer, Jay McGraw's company, Bird Street Books. Now, his book is available, of course, for purchase everywhere books are sold. And for a chance to win an autographed copy of Nick's book, just go to our website, thedoctorstv.com.
And next up, summer is over, our cans have faded, the cold weather is here, but let's not just swap swimsuits for sweaters as the weather changes. What about your skin? We're going to give you some seasonal skincare swaps every woman must start doing this fall, so stick around.